Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is the Sentinel watching over Geekdom, and welcome back to another Sentinel vlog. This one will be another Big Finish unboxing, showing off my haul from February 2019 through March of 2019. I was gonna say something else, but yeah, let's just get right into it. These are always fun, so yeah, why wait? There were two other boxes I got previously that I already opened. As I said a while ago, there was a mix-up in the mail, and because of that, I got a little paranoid and opened all my purchases. I think 2 or 3 unboxing videos ago now. So, lost my train of thought completely on that, but yeah, no. And after that, I said, in my last unboxing video actually, that the only boxes I will open prior to doing videos are when I buy story arcs, so I can rearrange them and present them in order. One of those boxes I got is exactly the case. The other one, I was doing a video, I needed to make a thumbnail, so I needed the product. And I'll show you that one first, but before I do, I will show you the Vortex I got. In both those packages I opened, it was the same one, so this Vortex was for February, and it advertised Gallifrey Time War Volume 2 and the comic strip adaptations. Yeah, because in Doctor Who Magazine, or Doctor Who Monthly, I forget where they came from, and I know someone will correct me in the comments, thank you. But yeah, Doctor Who went on and continued in comic strips, so Big Finish decided to adapt a couple of these stories for audio formats. And I haven't heard them, but I've been told they're really good. And then everyone who heard them and liked them went nuts because they said that this comic strip adaptation was Volume 1. And this set was the Iron Legion and the Star Beast. This is my flaw, by the way. I kind of tend to over-explain things. Anyway, the first thing I'm showing off, the thing I got to do the thumbnail, is, well, you already know it's coming if you saw, because I posted the video last week, I think it was. The Fourth Doctor Adventures, The Syndicate Master Plan, Part 2, Series 8B. Yeah, what is there to say? I made 9 videos talking about Series 8 of The Fourth Doctor Adventures. I need to listen to more of the Fourth Doctor Adventures, but I do think Series 8 might be my favorite, and I really like Dan. So let's go. The next one is 2 different things. Let me reach over here and grab them. So in one of my prior videos, I showed you one of my purchases, The Last of the Cybermen. And I explained that this was part of a trilogy. Legend of the Cybermen. I just got that wrong. But that's perfect because, like I said, I thought there was this story arc going on where the 6th Doctor went back and met the 2nd Doctor's companion, Jamie McCrimmon. And then I realized it was a trilogy because that 4th story that I kept showing off, Last of the Cybermen, is actually a part of a different trilogy. But yeah, along with the other thing I got in this, just moving things around so it's easier to get to them, I got the rest of the Six and Jamie trilogy, the City of Spires, and The Wreck of the Titan. I've heard this trilogy in its entirety. Good trilogy. I don't think it's my favorite, though. I think my favorite is still either the 40th Anniversary Villains trilogy, the Master trilogy, or the Cyber Invasion trilogy. And I think I'm leaning towards the Cyber Invasion trilogy because the Reaping is super good. But anyway, other than that, I also got the Six and Charlie stories now. Because I was sort of fascinated by the concept of these. Charlotte Pollard, Charlie, was a companion to the 8th Doctor. And she had her adventures with the Doctor, and they parted ways. You know, as is the nature of doctors and companions. And then something happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the story before this arc, the Eighth Doctor story before this arc, or if it was starting in this story, but Charlie ended up having to send a distress call that brought the TARDIS back around. But rather than her doctor, the Eighth Doctor, showing up to pick her up, it's the Sixth Doctor that showed up to pick her up. And I'm interested in this arc because that makes Charlie one of the most unique multi-Doctor companions. Because usually a multi-Doctor companion is just, they meet the Doctor, they travel, they stick with the Doctor through their regeneration. But yeah, Charlie's didn't, for one thing, and she's totally blanking. Excuse me, it's a little warm today. And she's with an earlier Doctor who is not supposed to know her. So, yeah, and there was a sale going on, so I bought the Six and Charlie arc in its entirety, and that includes The Condemned, The Doomwood Curse, Brotherhood of the Daleks, The Raincloud Man, Patient Zero, which I'm actually really excited for because Patient Zero ties into the Eighth Doctor adventures. In particular, the finale of the Eighth Doctor adventures, Lucy Miller into the Death. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Patient Zero. Paper Cuts, and then it ends with Blue Forgotten Planet. I haven't heard any of these stories yet, so yeah, that's all we have. And then the first of the boxes, so let's see what we got in here. Kind of zipping through these kind of fast, too. Oh, no Vortex. That's rare. Okay. But yeah, these are my early adventures. Now, I don't think I talked about them too much last time. I'll just recap. The early adventures is a range that Big Finish does at the end of the year. Like the last 4 months, I think. September, October, November, December. And basically, the early adventures are first and second Doctor stories, sort of told in the vein of 60s era Doctor Who. So, you know, a lot of the developments in Doctor Who that came after the 60s era, like the Time Lords, Gallifrey regeneration, that doesn't get brought up in the early adventures. And every year, the series alternates. So, for example, one year, the series will be First Doctor Adventures, and then the next series, the following year, will be Second Doctor Adventures, and so this year, 2019, it's going to be Second Doctor Adventures, and I'm really hyped for them, because one of them will be a multi-Doctor story with the First Doctor, and the other one will be... It's going to feature the Master, which is also kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, in these, the Second Doctor is played by Fraser Hines, who played Jamie, the Second Doctor's companion. And the First Doctor was played by William Russell, who played Ian, but William Russell is, I think, 98 now. I think he's mostly retired. Don't hold me to that. And now he's played by Peter Purvis, who played Stephen, another First Doctor companion. And that's really what kind of got me into them. I wanted to hear... Well, I've heard Fraser's Second Doctor before, but I wanted to hear Peter's take on the First Doctor. And now that I have, which is good, I see why people enjoy it so much, I still think David Bradley is my favorite. Again, just of the 4 actors who have played the First Doctor since Hartnell's passing, because Hartnell is still the best. But anyway, the early adventures. This time around, I got The Forsaken. And this one I got because the cover looked really interesting. And I'm glad I did. It was a good story, and it had really great music. And I think the rest of these are all... Yep, these are all First Doctor stories. I have The Ravelli Conspiracy, which was recommended to me someone I associate with. Out of respect, I won't name names. But yeah, he says this was one of his favorite First Doctor stories, and I liked it. It was really fun. And the Sontarans, which, of the First Doctor stories, of the early adventures, this is the one I was the most interested in. Because, in my opinion, Big Finish does the absolute best Sontaran stories, bar none. So, yeah, seeing the First Doctor meet the Sontarans sounded interesting. The fact it features Sarah Kingdom, who is a companion I like, which means this episode takes place sometime during the Daleks' master plan. I'm just gonna go with it because Doctor Who is a time travel show. Sooner or later, you kind of have to throw continuity and canon out the window when it comes to time travel narratives. But yeah, I really liked the Sontarans. It did not disappoint. And the Dalek Occupation of Winter, which really, really fantastic. I really enjoyed this one. And the last two, these were something different. So I'll start with the small one and end on the big one. There we go. And the Vortex for March features the Avengers. No, not those Avengers. Different. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Avengers, except that in the 90s, the series was adapted into a really terrible movie starring Ray Fiennes, Uma Thurman, and Sean Connery. And The 8th of March, which was a series, an anthology celebrating International Women's Day. I've heard good things about this. I may have to check this one out, The 8th of March. And, let's see, what's this one? These little cardboard sleeves. Now, as you've seen, Big Finish doesn't always do Doctor Who content. They have done other things. Like, I've shown you some of the classics I've gotten. The Phantom of the Opera, The Wizard of Oz, King Lear. But they also adapt other cult status TV shows. Like, to audio dramas. Like, they did Terra Hawks, which never watched the series myself, so I can't vouch for it. They've done Blake 7, which I have access to that series. If I ever get around to watching it, then I'll get into the Blake 7 audios. And even an American TV series, the Gothic soap opera Dark Shadows. And that's what these last two boxes are. They are Dark Shadows audios I got on a recent sale. I first heard of Dark Shadows in 2012, I want to say, when the Tim Burton movie was coming out. And I saw it, and I liked it for a little bit. Now that I've actually watched the series, the movie has a lot of issues. The main ones being how the movie handles Julia, and making Maggie and Vicky the same character. But, yeah, in fact, let me show you this, because I just love showing this thing off. It weighs a ton. Yeah. But yeah, as of right now, I'm only on episode 78 of, like, how many episodes is it? 1,225. Yeah. But like I said, I was interested in checking out the Dark Shadows series and checking out the audios. I've seen the two movies from the 70s. Night of Dark Shadows is better. And yeah, so this first package, getting back to the point, is The Night Whispers. And from what I was able to find before his passing, this is the only audio Jonathan Frid, who played Barnabas Collins in the series, did. And it was good. It's self-contained because I think a lot of the Dark Shadow stuff is done in story arcs. And I think because it's self-contained, The Night Whispers is a great jumping on point for the Dark Shadows audios. And then this one, which they taped. So I'm going to cut the tape. And they taped it right over the tab, so it's going to make opening this thing a pain. Or maybe not, because that just came right off. Open it. Another Vortex, Avengers, 8th of March. And what I got in this one was The House by the Sea, how do I want to phrase that? A story that kicks off a new arc, featuring a new character, played by Colin Baker, who moves into a house on the Collinwood grounds, and, mysterious happenings ensue. The house, despite my poor summary of it, The House by the Sea is actually really good. And then the last ones, which I have not listened to, because these are available on the Big Finish website as CD only, so I didn't get a download, so I've been waiting for these. Angelique's Descent Part 1 and Angelique's Descent Part 2. Now, this one, I have actually been, without even realizing it, looking for this forever. So, little background on the Dark Shadow series. Again, because that's my flaw, I over-explain things. And I may be thinking of the movie. I don't know the exact differences in this instance between the movie and the series. Angelique Bouchard was a woman who fell in love with Barnabas Collins. And when Angelique is a witch. And when he spurned her, she cursed him to be a vampire. Now, that's pretty much just the basic summary, but Lara Parker, who Angelique's actress, she's written books set in the continuity of the series, and ever since I started getting into the series, I've wanted to hunt these books down to read. Like, my local library has the Salem branch, that's what it's called. And I think she's written 4 or 5. I don't know how many she's written, but Angelique's Descent is her most famous one, I think. So, yeah, I've been meaning to find a copy of that book and hunt it down to actually read. And lo and behold, when I looked at Big Finish's Dark Shadow sale, they actually did an adaptation of Angelique's Descent. To my understanding, this isn't a full cast adaptation. This is really just an audiobook. So, but yeah, this was my unboxing. What did you think? Do you have any thoughts on the products you saw here? Go ahead and drop a comment below and start a conversation. Like, comment, subscribe. Click the little bell next to subscribe to get notifications when I upload. And in the description box below, you will find the link to my Twitter where you can get updates on me and the channel. This is the Sentinel, watching over Geekdom, and I'll see you guys next time.